Hi, so welcome back to another video. So today's video is very important because I had in the last 2 weeks, I had two important calls. One is from Switzerland and one is from Australia. In fact, the Australian client, I talked to him just today and had a complete detailed discussion regarding the market comparisons of Dubai and Abu Dhabi. And he actually wanted to understand why people are taking more interest towards that part of UAE, and he wants to know why you investing in Abu Dhabi, what kind of opportunities are there, what is happening in Abu Dhabi actually. So this video purpose is basically to create that kind of a presentation which gives some kind of a clarity in comparisons to Dubai and Abu Dhabi market. Our main goal is to understand real estate investment opportunities in Dubai and in Abu Dhabi, and why some of the investment opportunities which I personally believe in one of the few developments in Abu Dhabi, although there are very few developments ongoing because most of the developments are being done by government-backed developers. They are controlling the whole supply. And there is a lot happening in Abu Dhabi, to be honest with you. Disney World news already hit the market. Everyone knows about it. But what Disney will impact on the market and on the economy of Abu Dhabi. We will look into the comparisons of where Disney Worlds have been situated, and in those parts of world, what kind of revenues and what kind of footfall that they have seen, that we can get some kind of an idea through that figure that same thing is going to happen. Very often people try to, whenever they compare Dubai or UAE with any other country which were hundreds year old, they usually try to be very conservative, and they think that if something happens to some part of US or China, it's not going to be completely replicated. They don't have very high motivation that the number is going to 2x or 3x what happened in the past in those countries. After looking at the economy and understanding the numbers, the facts, what kind of influx that Dubai is experiencing and Abu Dhabi is experiencing, what kind of businesses are being set up in these Emirates, and what kind of regulations are coming into the market, I 100% believe that whatever happened in the past, it's going to 3x or 4x in the next coming future. Although when we are looking at the investments, we always should have a conservative mindset, because that's how I think and that's how most of my investors think. When you're looking for any kind of an investment in general, you manage your expectations after looking at the data and the numbers. But for UAE, I have very high motivation that it's going to give a world a benchmark to follow in the coming few years. So let's get on with it. So basically in this presentation, I will explain you a little bit about the supply, the off-plan launches compared to what kind of people are moving in, what is the population, a little bit of a tourism, what is happening and what is coming in Abu Dhabi right now. So this basically is Dubai versus Abu Dhabi off-plan supply. So if you look at the number, 2024, Dubai has experienced 45,000 off-plan units launched in just 2024. And in 2025, H1 pipeline is estimated to be 20,000 units. Ready stock, the complete whole supply of Dubai is basically almost hitting 800,000 units in the market right now. And they have a plan to hit 1 million units by 2030 because the population growth is very staggering. When you compare it to Abu Dhabi, you see that 2024, only 9,000 off-plan units were launched in this market of Abu Dhabi. And in 2025, estimated to be 4,000 units will be launching in Abu Dhabi. Ready stock in the whole Abu Dhabi. So this is basically leasehold plus freehold. This number could be a little bit inaccurate, but again, just to compare with Dubai versus Abu Dhabi, that's 280,000 residential units in the whole country of Abu Dhabi. And it's a very cash-rich economy, and the government of Abu Dhabi doesn't have that kind of a financial challenge which other countries have. So if you were to compare the whole numbers of Dubai and Abu Dhabi, no doubt demand is so high in Dubai, and Dubai model is succeeding in a lot of ways. In Dubai model is giving those kinds of returns to people that, makes the criteria into the category of safe. Now, but again, whenever you're doing any kind of an investment, you should always be looking at those factors or looking at those opportunities in the market which very less people are talking about. So today I'm going to give you that opportunity which very less people are talking about, highly undervalued in the market. This is basically the opportunity of a lifetime. And if anyone have missed 2008 till 2025 cycles of Dubai, and they have seen the growth in certain areas of beachfront location, and they will be like, they were always thinking like, if I would get that opportunity, I would have bought it. But that time has passed. In today's market, we still have that kind of a backing, government backing, complete development in which you will hold your asset and make generational wealth. So to give you a summary, observation is Dubai supply is basically 4 to 5 times in Abu Dhabi. Abu Dhabi is right now emerging. Right now, a lot of people are moving in. A lot of jobs creation are happening. A lot of new restaurants are being opened. From the news, I'll get into that part again. So the population comparison, if you were to give compared to Dubai and Abu Dhabi. So in Dubai right now, the population have already hit 4 million mark. 4 million people are basically have already found Dubai as a home. Abu Dhabi, it's mentioned 1.6 million, but again, if you were to Google it, you will be able to find, the Abu Dhabi population is also increasing to minimum of 3.8 million mark. But in Abu Dhabi, if you were to find the ratio between Emirati nationals and residents, the expats in the country, you will find that number a little bit more than Dubai. The Emirati nationals are more in Abu Dhabi compared to Dubai. In Dubai, the ratio is 90-10. So that's why you're seeing the staggering growth in the population. But I'm foreseeing right now, after 5 years to 6 years time, the Abu Dhabi population will also be moving neck to neck to Dubai's population. Now, what are the driving factors in Abu Dhabi tourism? What are the driving factors why the government is basically heavily focusing on creating that kind of a family orientation inside the city, that the tourism. So you have to understand, there is a tourism for certain things like, let's say, Burj Khalifa. A lot of people want to visit that place. It's a landmark. It's a beautiful place. A lot of people want to go to Dubai Mall. A lot of people want to go to, different kinds of adventurous activities. But in Abu Dhabi, they are more focusing on the museums, such as Lou, Abu Dhabi, Guggenheim, which is expected to open this year. Zayed National Museum is also expected to open this year. Natural History of Museum, which will be the world-class scientific hub, which will also be, waiting to open this year or maybe next year. Team Lab Phenomena from Tokyo, the team came and they built that beautiful digital art museum. It's an interactive, like digital art, basically you're interacting with it when you're moving around in that museum. I'll try to flash that video when I'm talking about it so that you will have some kind of a clarity on it. 2.3 million visitors yearly. It's a very stable influx of tourists coming in every year in Tokyo, where the actual team lab is. So they have replicated that Tokyo team lab phenomena into Abu Dhabi right now. Now, if this 2.3 million visitors yearly just by team lab is basically the attraction in Tokyo, imagine what's going to happen in Abu Dhabi, where you have so many options in which Guggenheim. So Guggenheim, already we have a case study developed that Guggenheim Bilbao saw the GDP boost of 500 million euros annually. It's a stable growth. It's not like they have hit this mark and they moved on. It's a stable growth every year. So Lou basically have already in Paris, we know that it's already registered that it welcomed 10 million plus visitors. So this organic and stable growth will do a lot to economy of Abu Dhabi and in general for UAE as well. So these mix of museums, bringing that into one country and then creating some kind of an ecosystem for tourists, for families, which creates, when these kinds of massive structure comes to any country, this creates a lot of jobs. So combine all of these major attractions coming to Abu Dhabi, in which 2 have already been opened, and then the 5th one, the Disney World, which I will get into that part as well. But combine all of these, Ferrari World is already there. It's seeing immense, stable tourism. It's never been down since the Ferrari World opened. Etihad Arena is in Abu Dhabi right now, where all the UFC fights, a lot of big concerts, big artists have already, it's a very planned whole year. It's never emptied. So it's already attracting a lot of tourists from all around the world. So Abu Dhabi is creating that kind of a stable growth of tourism inside their country, which will obviously for the next 10 years will create a lot of jobs, will create a lot of demand for the real estate, which will create a lot of demand for the restaurants, which will also create a lot of demand for schools and all the medical facilities and everything which is required for people to live inside a city for a very long future. There is something else also in play. So this is basically the list of top financial firms in Abu Dhabi who have based their headquarters, in which there are some big names such as financial free zone ADGM. 2,400 firms are actually right now active inside this city of Abu Dhabi. Investment banks and advisors, in which Goldman Sachs and JP Morgan, Lazard have already based their headquarters inside Abu Dhabi, not in Dubai, but in Abu Dhabi. Alternative investment firm, Brevan Howard, TCI, BlackRock, GQG, Fortress, Kimmeridge, Rothschild. They are one of the BlackRock and Rothschild. They are one of the biggest name in the world when it comes to wealth. They hold their holding power, their holding assets are so high. If you compare it to some of the countries in the world, their whole budget doesn't even match their holdings. So digital assets platform GFOX, Zodia Market, Hidden Road have already based their headquarters inside Abu Dhabi. Sovereign wealth funds, Mubadala, Aldar is basically a part of Mubadala, like Emaar is a part of ICD, is basically 330 billion worth of a wealth hub. Mubadala is ADQ. So the project which I'm going to talk about today in this video. So basically, this video could be a little longer. So I will try to put it in parts so that people have better understanding when they want to understand the market of Abu Dhabi. So a lot of people who are very new, they don't know the microeconomic indicators or the macroeconomic indicators of Abu Dhabi. I want to explain this to them. A lot of people are overseas who are contacting them. So which is why I will put this video in 2-3 parts. Anyone who already know about Abu Dhabi, very much convinced about Abu Dhabi, he will directly shift to the second part and understand about the development that I'm talking about. So the development which I'm going to talk about is ADQ. ADQ basically is backing that developer. Mubadala is basically behind Aldar. ADQ is behind Mudon. So what kind of impact Disney World will bring to Abu Dhabi? See, whenever the government takes any kind of initiative, they really well know, they already have done their numbers, they already have done their due diligence, and they really understand what is the impact the economy will have when they are bringing that kind of a name inside the city of Abu Dhabi. Such as, the Ras Al Khaimah government have done their due diligence on when in Dubai, there are so many infrastructures that we can talk about, but this video will become much longer. So Disney Park benchmarks. Disneyland Paris, this is the best case study. Disneyland Paris, 15 million annual visitors, 1.7 billion in revenue. Tokyo Disneyland, 17 million visitors and 3 billion in revenue. So the EBITDA is basically the profit margins, is basically 30% margins that they are having in Tokyo. Projected for Abu Dhabi. So this is the same thing. See, they have also taken the conservative number. So their projection is estimated to be 10 to 12 million annual visitors, unlike Paris, unlike Tokyo, which is 15 million, 17 million yearly. Potential revenues are expected to be 1.5 to 2 billion. EBITDA is expected to be 450 to 600 million. So if you look at the whole presentation again, and you see the government is basically planting all of those economic machines inside the city, which creates some kind of a web of connecting people with each other inside those organizations. And there will be a lot of people that when they connect with each other, they will start welcoming more people from all around the world, which will create that kind of a transaction element. After giving value, and in return you're getting some kind of a transaction. So last part tells us that additional tourism nights plus hotel demand and real estate spillover. Of course, yeah, that's going to happen. So which is why we are getting into this presentation in detail. Now, right now, what's the condition in Abu Dhabi for restaurants and schools? So total schools is 585 schools already based in Abu Dhabi. So basically this is a total, this is estimated total, and 369 public or private split of schools inside Abu Dhabi. So chartered school is 31 schools with 46,500 student seats, which is the total capacity of those total schools. The total restaurants are estimated to be 2,700 active venues in May 2025. And there are some estimation of 6,534 listings in total. Michelin star restaurants are basically 4 restaurants with 1 Michelin star each 2025. This is basically in 2025 there are 2 restaurants. And Bib Gourmand is basically 7 restaurants recognized for the quality and moderate price. Now, I was watching one of the documentary in which the government is basically already in talks with Le Cordon Bleu. They are bringing that Michelin star school inside Abu Dhabi, in which they will be, that school basically have generated already, they have already contributed a lot of Michelin star chefs all around the world to a lot of restaurants. And this is based in UK, and they are coming up and basing their headquarters inside Abu Dhabi. When these kinds of things starts happening, they also do their due diligence, and they know that if there is enough demand inside the city for those kinds of high-end restaurants. Now, when they are planning to base their school inside a city, that tells a lot about what is happening in the economy of Abu Dhabi.